It's me, Irene, and I know I posted a video last night, but I thought that it'd be a good idea to post one today, especially since I just finished my theater final. So yesterday I know I talked about Stratford-upon-Avon, but I thought I would talk about something I mentioned in a few videos back, and that is my trip to Bath that I took with my study abroad group. So we went to Bath, and it was a Friday to Sunday trip, and which means we came back on Sunday. And we left London on the Friday. And so when we left, on the way we stopped at this beautiful old house castle thing. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it now, but the grounds were beautiful. They had a butterfly enclosure, and they had a maze, and so I'm gonna compare. So this house is very grand and has a lot of furniture, and it was beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I will talk about what I'm about to say in depth in another video. But for spring break, one of the trips I did was me and my roommate went to Dublin, Ireland, and we saw the Dublin Castle over there, and it was just as big, just as beautiful, but it had a lot less furniture, and I've decided that that's the type of place that I like better. Still elegant, but not jam-packed with furniture. Like, every time I go see these grand old houses that are just filled with furniture, it's like, how many people can sit on a piece of furniture at a time? How many people are you expecting to be in this house at a time? Why is there so much stuff? And so, yeah, it was still beautiful, don't get me wrong, but I greatly enjoyed the outside more than I did inside the house. But it was still beautiful. And it's still used by the family that we were touring. It's like a duke or something. I don't. I'm not good at this whole remembering this place. I remember we went there, but then we went to Bath, and we got to Bath, and we went to go see the Roman bath in Bath, obviously, for what Bath is named for. And it was beautiful. The history is amazing, but they also were like, so this bath that everyone's like, oh yes, healing, was slowly poisoning people because of lead. Lead poisoning is a thing that no one thought of back in the day that this bath was made. But it was still beautiful. I think it was the Roman generals and Caesars were depicted in the statues around it, and I enjoyed that. We had a audio guide that took us around, and then after that we had free time. And so, being the lit nerd I am, what did I go do but go see Jane Austen's house? As me and my friend Megan, who usually is in these videos with me when I'm not abroad, have said we love Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. And while being here, I found a book called Northanger Abbey, which I will read and talk about after I finish. So Jane Austen lived in Bath and wrote 2 books set in Bath, and Northanger Abbey is the first one she wrote. Sense and Sensibilities is the other one she wrote. So we went to this house, and it was beautiful. And you got to dress up in period clothing afterwards, and as you can, I like my period clothing. But so we walked in, and we thought, and by we, I had 2 other people with me, because I'm not the only nerd on this trip. So we walked in, and we thought, oh yeah, we're just going to tour around the house. Well, then we had to buy a ticket to go upstairs to see a video, to get a talk to, and then go see the house. And honestly, I could have done without the talk, and the video I really just wanted to see, but that wasn't the option. You just had to get all of it. And it was still good. I have discovered I'm better at writing with a quill pen than I was a few years ago. And I don't know how, because I haven't practiced in a while. I haven't written in a quill pen. It's just every once in a while, like, someplace I go will have a quill pen, and you're like, oh, let me try writing in it. And I did, and it was really good. And so I liked it. I wrote, like, 3 little notes. And then after that, we went to a rugby game. Oh, yes, the rugby game. That was a lot of fun. Bath lost, which was, sad. But, so I didn't really know anything about rugby going in, which, was my own fault. There was stuff apparently on Facebook I could have read to prepare myself for this, but I didn't have the chance, nor could I find the Facebook page. So, I just went in blind, and it was still a lot of fun. But rugby, as opposed to American football, they have nothing in common, really, but that's what I'm going to compare them to. And, so, rugby, there's no padding. There's, it's similar to football, but not. Football, American football, there's padding and things, and there was just none in rugby, and every once in a while we'd have to stop for the ref and the paramedics team would have to come out and make sure the person who was under the dog pile was okay. And my study abroad group and I were sitting there, and, like, someone made the comment, you know what I think would stop, having to have these breaks? And we were like, oh, what? And she goes, padding. And we're like, yeah, but then it'd be American football, and they don't want that. That and American football fans, when they go to a football match, are really loud, and, there's a lot of kind of cursing and yelling at the refs and the players and the coaches, and that wasn't that in rugby. Like, the other team would score, and people would be like, oh, yes, not our team, but we will grudgingly clap. Your team scores, and you do cheer. And rugby it was very nice. It was a lot of fun going to that and seeing a sport that, I don't have back home. And then on Sunday, because that was all Saturday, on Sunday we were heading back to London, and on the way back to London, we went and stopped at Stonehenge, which is just a great big circle of rocks, honestly, that no one knows why it's there, what it was for, or really anything. And literally our study abroad group, our bus driver for our study abroad leader was like, oh yes, you're gonna go see the circle of rocks. And we're like, yeah, but at some point, it's probably very important for the time it was made, and it still is. People still wonder, how did this happen? And it was beautiful. I took pictures. But yeah. And then we obviously came back to London, and I continued on to my K-pop concert, which I talked about in that other video. So now that I've talked at you for about 9 minutes about that, let me pose a question to you now. So I'm coming to the end of my stay here, and I haven't talked about a lot that has happened. So I'm going to do a poll for my next video. Who wants to hear about a theater experience, and who wants to hear about travel? And I'll do both. I'll eventually do all, but I want to know what the next video should be about. Should it be about theater or travel? Feel free to vote in the comments, and thank you so much for all the comments you have left so far. They honestly make my day. So I will see you in another video. Bye!